Alright guys, this is part 4 of the series where we will be going over the Betaflight settings for my 3-inch reverb. This will be run on 3 to 4S, and if you haven't checked out any of the previous videos in this series, you guys should go ahead and do that. Obviously, first one, motors, frame, ESC, we talk about all the components. Second video, I just go over the wiring, which can't talk about enough. Like, this is just like look at that. I got two wires in there, 3 wires in there. Oh my goodness. And you if you're baffled about why I'm so excited about this, here, let me show you one of my old quads. Okay, now I'll flip it around. Look at that. Look at that mess of wires in there. Like, just shit all over the place. You know, and this is a 4-inch tweaker. I mean, the weight on this thing, and you know, this ain't a telemetry receiver. This is like some fat ass box. It's like the AR610, if I remember correctly. Luiminer Opto 20 amp Pro ESCs. These will run in one shot. This actually flew good, only because 20 amp ESCs run okay for a 4-inch. I did have a similar setup on my 5-inch, and that was always shaky. That always kind of sucked. That got ripped apart now, and as you can see, it's all empty. I did keep the camera in there. I like the camera, but that is going to get changed out. That's probably going to get the same stack that we are talking about right now. So let's go ahead and get this plugged into Betaflight. Alright, so right here we're onto the setup tab. Nothing really in here too much. I turn off the accelerometer so I can arm it in any position at all. I just do that just because if I get stuck sideways and I happen to like disarm in a tree or something, I don't want to not be able to turn the quad back on and try to get out of that tree. So against some people's judgment, I just run it with the accelerometer off. Never really seem to have a problem with that. For my ports tab, as you can see, I have my Serial RX receiver set up to UART1. UART3, I do have the IRC Tramp protocol running, smart audio, in short, whatever you want to call it. Configuration, we're running D-Shot 1200 Quad X, and even though all 4 of these motor settings right here were showing the direction I wanted, I didn't actually have that when I first went to arm up. As I said, all were spinning counterclockwise, and I knew this wouldn't help out. Obviously, you can't reverse 2 motors and not reverse the other 2. And if you did notice, I do have BlHeli, Sweet, and BlHeli down here. I can't get them to work though. They downloaded, they just won't work. So I'm running 8K on this flight controller. Craft name, we don't have one yet. Let me know what you think. I have this RSSI analog input turned on. I don't know if that actually affects it. I don't see some other people turning that on and off sometimes, but I just have it turned on. It shows like 15% to 17% in my goggles. Receiver, we're running a serial-based receiver, SpecSat, and I'm using the Spektrum 2048, which is debatable because I'm supposed to be running the SRXL receiver, but I don't have my receiver updated with the cable. I don't have the cable yet. I just never bought one before, so I don't have it updated, and that could be possibly another reason why that is not working properly. Failsafe, I've already checked it out. The way I check failsafe is I check it out in the field or I check it in my house, and the easiest way I do that is take my props off just like that, no props. So props off, turn your remote, your transmitter on, get it set to the correct model, get your quad plugged in, turn it on, arm it up, give it like 5% throttle, so that way the motors are actually spinning, it's not just idling. Give it like 5% throttle, and then just turn your remote off. And if your quad just sits there and keeps spinning and spinning and spinning, or it revs up and it spins even higher, then you don't have a failsafe set. But if you turn your remote off and the quad just stops and all 4 motors turn off, then you know you have a failsafe set, which I have a failsafe set on my Reciver. The quad probably has something, so I don't know, I never mess with failsafe, whatever happens, happens. It's pretty much the way I look at it. So these are my, these are the PIDs default on the board, besides the RC rate, the super rate, and the Expo. I added all 3 of those in. I did not change anything else on here. So I don't know how it's gonna fly. Also, this is did the computer get stuck? Yeah, computer gets stuck. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, dinosaur computer. Yeah, alright, so we'll go down to our Reciver tab. Obviously, nothing's going to show up right now because I don't have the quad powered up. I do have it set. These are all default, besides the channel mapping. I use the Spektrum. Modes. Arm switch is my my H, which let's just go ahead, let's just plug in a battery anyway. Alright, so H is my arm mode. My beeper is down, which is pretty loud. I like that. And we do have flip over after crash mode, which is up. Adjustments I used to use to adjust my PIDs. Now I just use Tramp RC and Smart Audio. Love that. So we have our SSI value over here in the corner. I do keep the cell count right here. Alright. And it's cool too, you're getting like a reflection off the quad right here. Kind of looks like police in the background or some shit. So we've got the cell count, the voltage right here, milliamps used, and RSSI, which doesn't seem to be working. And then we'll just jump into the CLI real quick. I will show you. So this is running Omnibus F4SD. This is the 3.53. I don't plan on updating it unless I have a problem with it, because, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Get Spektrum. And I have this set to Spektrum sat bind 0, allowed range 0 to 10. And you may think that 0 is actually nothing or not working, but the way that it actually works is technically for the computer guru guys, 0 is 1. So you count starting instead of counting from 1 to 10, it's from 0 to 10. So 0 is actually a setting. I have mine set to 0. Spektrum sat bind auto reset on, which I don't know why some of my quads I have to run it off, otherwise the receiver just disconnects every time. So other than that, that's pretty much all our settings for the board, and pretty much everything else doesn't really matter, or I don't really care about, besides for tuning. We'll see that when we get to it. Disconnect. Alright, cool. so that's just about it. And just as I wrap this video up, guys, make sure if you did find this helpful or useful, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're looking forward to future content, if you guys want to see the maiden flight and any other videos I'm coming out with, go ahead and subscribe. There will be plenty more to come out with. But as I wrap this up, I just want to show you, this is how I check failsafe mode out in the field. If I don't know if it's working properly, take your props off, set your transmitter to the correct model, go ahead and plug in. Don't know why it does 2 beeps sometimes. Okay, now we'll just check our beeper and flip over after crash mode. Obviously, I see only 2 motors spin up, so that is working. And the way we're going to do this is we are going to arm, we're going to give it just a little bit of throttle and turn the transmitter off. And just like that, your quad will fall out the sky. So that's how you can check your failsafe mode out in the field. If you guys did find this video useful, don't forget to hit that like button, and hopefully I'll see you in the maiden flight. Have a good one.